Why don't I have... There we go. I already did that one. I already did that one. All right. All right. Well, we have audio, so that's good. All right, I just wanted to give an update on the all-time franchise rosters video I did. Let me see what day that was. Hang on a second. Holy smokes, that was loud. I had posted it originally on the 26th of February, and I was, I had mentioned in there that I had done the, some of the stats as random because I couldn't find Madden stats or Madden ratings for all the players. Sorry, still having coffee this morning. So what I decided to do was I decided to make a Google Sheet, well, workbook, I should say. And what I did was I went through and I got stats for all the players that are vital to their role. I don't really care about the display here. It's not big enough, but I wanted them all to be the same size so they fit on the screen. And then I put helper columns over here for adjustments, and the adjustments are to compare them to everyone else and what they have as their rating and the differences there between, so it can then look at, let me hide these again. It can then look at what I want the highest rating for that particular category to be for that position. And then it adjusts everybody accordingly. So it kind of compares everyone to everyone else. And then it generates the ratings that go into the game for all the positions. And I have the positions broken out. And this overall rating's not accurate to what's in the game, but it's just something for me to go by to make sure it wasn't, too far off of, what everybody thinks in their head. Everybody's pretty close because they're all all-time players, so not anybody too far off. But it is all based on their stats, so a lot of people you hear about in researching this stuff, I found out, I won't say a lot, but some of the people, they might have been in the league for, let's say, 7 years, but they really only got to play for 3 of those years. So their stats are really, really low. So where everybody else is like 80, you might have like a 73. I did make up, and let me go over to the team side here. So what happens once this is done is you can see it assigns the team. That's a formula. So what it does is it goes over and looks for that person on the team rosters, and that decides what team they're on, and then it pulls that back here, and then it pulls whatever helmet that is for that team. And now if I go over here to the actual team, you can see they got the team helmet up here, but then it also has the helmets for the colleges. Just a visual thing that I added. I like it. So what happens is it pulls all the stuff over here, so I can actually just go to that team when I'm ready to enter the stuff. I have the 49ers and the Bears entered. I have played 3 games, I think, with them, and they have been there was one blowout, 42-14 Bears, but the other ones were 2017 and what was the other one, 17-7 or 3, I can't remember. So 2 of them were pretty tight. I'm now ready to enter the Bengals, and I actually just did the 3 quarterbacks. There were some actual surprises. Let me go over to. So what I did was I used this site, and I pulled up. Well, actually, let's do it the way I actually did it. So what I did was I came here and I said all-time leading passers for. Actually, let's take that out. Let's go over here. We'll do Bengals. And then career passing leaders. So this is where I got my stuff. I took the top 3, provided that that person was not on another team. And to determine that, I would go into the person's stats, and I would look to see which team they had the most points for, and that's the team that got them. So that's how we did it. And then on the stats pull in, I just did these headers and then the career stats to get their ratings. So that's how they made the teams. And all of those sheets, having said that, are actually in this workbook and hidden. So if I go to hidden sheets, I can come down to the Bengals and quarterbacks. You see right there, the top 3. And that's what determined who made the team. And I did that for every position, for every team. So originally when I set up the teams, I did 55-man rosters, which if you follow football, you know is too many. So then what I had to do was, you see the blanks in here, I had to come in and decide which position to cut for that team. I kind of went by the overall rating of the person, as well as the durability of the person in front of them. Like Allstott's in the 90s for durability, so that person probably would not have played too much, if at all. And if he gets hurt, then they can put a tight end over there. So I'm not too worried about that. What I'm also planning on doing, once I get these done, is adding a column here for free agents. I'll probably move this part over to this side for that piece, because I am suspecting that I'll have far more than 3 quarterbacks in the free agency pool. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at doing for that piece. But I got to get everything entered first before I worry about that. And in doing that, I will come back over to these sheets that I have, and I will take, the next person on the list that's not on a team, which I can find out by searching the name on the team rosters. So if I do Carson Palmer here, I can tell if he's on a team somewhere else. and he is not. So he would be in the free agent pool, and I will actually create probably one of these that has free agents only, and then that way I can pull his stats into that to get his ratings to put into the free agent pool as well. So I'm trying to make it as accurate as I can, and that the people are comparative to other people at that position. So I hope that makes sense. But it looks like it's going pretty well. I mean, quarterback wise, I don't disagree with too many of these. I think maybe Elway might be a little bit low, perhaps. Maybe Marino. It's hard to say, really. I mean, you just don't know. But again, it's going by their actual stats, so I can't. I can't really argue with too much of it, right? You go by over time. People talk about how good people were, and like I remember Jaworski, and I thought he was phenomenal, but he's rating wise with his stats it's not as high as some of these other guys. But it actually did work out pretty well with the formulas to, like, Randall's faster than most of the other quarterbacks. If I remember right, so is Steve Young for one. He's a little faster, but not as much faster as Cunningham is, which makes sense. So a lot of that worked out pretty well, I thought. Steve Young's a little faster, but not quite as fast as Mahomes. It didn't give him too much of a fast rating, but he's not been playing very long, so that could be part of it. It still rated him at 94, which is pretty high. That's actually higher than Brady is. Not Brady, I think, is 93. Which, again, it's all relative. So, but that's pretty much how I did it. I'm just starting to go into the rosters on this utility that I have here and enter all their attributes. I'm going to wait till all that's done and then load it back into the game to do the equipment and look of the player. And I'll do that with images off of online. I thought I had one pulled up. Do I not? Yeah. So then I go over and look at the player, and I try to make them look, similar. If they have tape shoes or wristbands or whatever, or neck rolls or any of that stuff. The visors, whatever they have. And this guy, I don't have the option for no face mask, so I did the smallest, like the kicker face mask, which is, you make do with what you have, which is fine. Doesn't bother me too much to have it not be accurate. I could get a little bit more accurate if I was doing it in Madden, which I do plan on still doing for anybody who watched that video for the custom teams. I just figured it would make more sense to have actual NFL teams because people have more buy-in for that, like their favorite team. If I have custom teams, then nobody knows who those teams are, right? So, I mean, they might get attached a little bit if they watch some of the streams just based on, what uniforms they like or location or any of that stuff. But there's no guarantee that anybody will like it. So I'm doing that for me, and I put it on the back burner for now so I can do this. I do have a person that's going to stream a league once this is done with this roster. And I may do that myself as well. But yeah, and then you come over here and I just highlight whichever one I'm working on so I don't mix it up and put in the wrong stuff. But I've got all the teams filled out here. And like I said, I'll go back and do free agents as well, I think, just to give people options. Because I think what I'm going to do is once I get it done, actually I think I still need that. Once I get it done, I believe there's ESPN. Actually, did I say? I might have saved it as a favorite. Let me check. I did. So I could send it to these people, and I think they'll post it here, and then people can go download it that have the PC version and use it. Um, I thought this stuff here was adding more stuff that you could download, but it's not. It's actually just showing you what's in the game, which is unfortunate. I was hoping you could put more people in. That'd be kind of cool. I did edit all that too. Like if I go back to the utility, you can see up here I have the name of the coach. Uh, I need to change that because I took Dick out because he's the tight end. So it's not him anymore, it's House. So what I need to do there is I can go ahead and hide this back. And then back over here. So I've got him there. So why is that not translating? Alright, so where am I looking that up at? Players. Players, what? Why would it be in players? So I think I need to... Alright, so there's a... From when I created the sheet, I brought over another workbook. And it had everybody on one page, but across the sheet. So, I think if I go all the way to the end, I don't even think I need this sheet anymore, to be honest, once I get the coaches done. But I entered all these stats into the game as well, which I'll be able to show you here in a second. So this is George. So I wonder if I can. I think I'll just repoint this to the roster file, just like these guys are, right? Well, they're matching a number. Did I put a number to the coach? Did you guys notice? I didn't. So we'd have to just match coach. Right? Oi! This stupid computer. I hate it. I need a new one. Why are you... No, go away. Weird. So... Right now it's doing it matching the team. I guess you could still do it that way, technically. But I don't think I want to do it that way. I think I want to do it this way. If I can. Oh, well, I could have matched that, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess I could do that. I could say, well, I should be able to say, so this would be row. So row would be off of coach. So I want Y1, right? But then I also need to do the column. Which would be from the team. So to be A1. I don't think I need this. Because I'm not looking it up by... Oh, wait a second. Hang on. I got extra matches in here. What's happening? No. I think I copied something extra there. Alright. Let's try to figure out what we're doing here. So I want to pull the coach, which is Y1. From team rosters. I don't need any of this, do I? Not yet, anyway. Actually, I don't need that. So that would give me... Actually, that should be right. So I match the row on the word coach, and then I match the column on the team, which is an A1. Well, that's not right. So I'm pulling back the name, which is right. I'm going to match the word coach in A, which is right, and then I match the team name in... Why would that be Steve Young? What are we doing here? If I'm matching three and three, it should be Bill Walsh. Right? Anybody? Hey, D, what's going on, man? So if I match column A, is 3, that's right. And then row 2 is 3. So why would that be Steve Young? Anybody? Bueller? Oh, I know why. Because this is 2 and it should be 1. There we go. Piece of cake. Alright, so now if I copy this to the rest of these, it should pull in everybody. Yeah. And in doing so will allow me to then delete that player's sheet. I think I can get rid of the Madden ratings one too that's behind the scenes. I was looking for you last night, D. You still there? We got Rich in for a little while, and Joe joined, so I didn't have room for you for a while, but... Colts. I'm a little disappointed that the Buccaneers chose Bruce Arians as their best coach. That's depressing. Of course, Tom Coughlin for the Jags is pretty depressing as well, but... So tired from officiating all day, never got online. Nah, I mean, you do what you can, right? No big deal. Dude, I was exhausted. I tried laying down yesterday afternoon too, and I could not fall asleep. But I felt like I was ready to sleep for 8 hours. Alright, so we get rid of these. No, don't be moving shit. Pete Carroll for Seahawks is kind of depressing as well, I think. Alright, there we go. So now, what I should be able to do, so it's pulling off of this sheet now, so I should be able to get the view, hidden sheets, overall, I don't need this anymore, so, well, wait a minute, I did add something down here, did I not? I did, but that's not pulling that anymore, so I can get rid of that. Actually, I'm getting rid of the whole sheet, so I don't need to delete that. Delete. Alright, so let's go make sure it didn't screw anything up. I don't have any NAs or anything there, so again, these ratings are not accurate. I can't find the formulas to figure the overall ratings, and I think some of that is because in ESPN NFL 2K5 I got you with a follow. Can you sub to my channel? Yeah, we don't do self-promotion in other channels there, baller. That's not normal, dude. And why would I sub to your channel? Yeah. Why would I sub to your channel if you only gave me a follow? Yeah, you can kick him, Dwayne. Since you're a mod. Mod, baby! Anyway, I can't find the overall ratings that are... And part of that, I think, is because it actually changes if you change the height and weight of somebody. Like, I had an old-time 50s player that was 220 on defensive line or offensive line or whatever. And I changed him... Thank you, sir. And I changed him to be the new player, which was 3... I don't know, 3... No, it wasn't that big. It was 275, 295 or something, and his rating actually went up, which I thought was pretty cool. But then I don't know how that would translate into making a formula, right? So basically, these overall formulas are just to give me an idea how they rate comparatively to everyone else. So don't play too much into that, because again, when I'm entering this stuff, like if I go over to 49ers, so I like these say 93, 92, 90. Young was 100 when I entered him, so these they're not accurate. And it's by position as well, because so like when I entered Craig, I think he's 100, so it's really weird. Like, you can't, I guess because it goes by size as well, you can't manipulate it to be an actual formula. I didn't do all these, did I? Did I? Dude, my memory is so trash. By God, I did. I didn't remember doing all of them. Holy smokes, dude. I'm getting old. Last day of vacation, too, unfortunately. I gotta go back to work tomorrow. Sucks. Alright, so I got rid of the Madden one. I should be able to get rid of the players one as well. Alright, so here's the coaches one. I did kind of like the actual players. I gave them the helmets and whatnot. A little bit different layout, but not much. And I don't want that there. I want it over there. Okay. So where is my... There should be another sheet here. Did I already unhide it? It's not over there. There it is. So these are from... I actually brought a lot of this over from my Madden workbook. You see it affected stuff here because it was looking up the aggressive. I don't think those were right anyway, to be honest with you. I got those from another guy that posted it, and I think the quarterbacks are too aggressive. He had them as 66, and they just, even at 33, they did nothing but throw picks. As I did a few test games with the Bears and the 49ers. Alright, so now we should be able to not duplicate. Smoking crack, dude. Smoking the crack. Yes, I want to delete the sheet. And I want to delete this one as well. Alright, so now it should not affect anything having deleted that. And I still have numbers and not any NAs or references, so we should be good. Alright. So yeah, I just did the quarterbacks for the Bengals to get them entered. I do have a guy that's the guy that I was talking about that's going to stream the league is supposed to get back with me. He said, I guess he has some people that he expected to see in here that he did not see. So he's supposed to be getting back to me on that. I hope he does it before I get all this entered, because if I have to go back and change people out, I'm going to be mad. Having said that, I did say to him that I did, and in case anybody missed it, I did actually do it this way. I went into this site, Pro Football Reference. I did values for whatever position it was, right? So passing, receiving, rushing, that, so on and so forth. And however many roster spots I was doing for that position, that's how many I pulled in. Now I did end up with 55 per team, so I had to get rid of a couple. So if I go back over to the teams, and then actually before I do that, what I did after that was if they played for more than one team, the team that had the most points is the team that got that player. So in this case, it was Cincinnati for Palmer, who did pretty well for Arizona, but he didn't get as many points. And the points are approximate value that is done by this site. It doesn't really, it's not an official stat, but that's what I used to determine who made the teams and which team they made, if they made a team. Now, having said that, there are a few players that played for a lot of different teams, right? And they were really good over their career, but they didn't have enough for any one team to make it. And that may be some of the players he's talking about. And if that's the case, I will probably put them in the free agency pool. So if he wants to add them, swap them out with somebody on the team, then he can do that. I could possibly do that if I do a league as well, but I don't see me doing it. First time chat from viewer. First message was deleted by moderator. Aw. First time chatter and I lost him. That's a shame. So anyway, that's how I did it. Was I don't know if you saw that, Dwayne, but I did it this way. I just did a Google search for that particular team's all-time leading whatever. And then those top three are the ones that made it. And I used everything from Pro Football Reference because they do an approximate value for every player for each year. The only exceptions to that would be people that played before 1960. Those players did not have AVs, approximate values. So in that case, what I did was I compared it to. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I compared it to. Let's go into Ken. So what I did was, if they had an award, then I gave them 10, which you can see sometimes it's higher than that. If they had multiple awards, I try to give them 15. And then you can see it's not accurate, because this guy was 11. Even on a 4-11 season, he had no awards. But that's just how I did it, to see if they made it. And then some of them did. But I gave them 5 if they had nothing, no awards. And I gave them 10 if they had 1 award, and 15 if they had 2. And that's how I came up with AVs that were missing. Again, sometimes they did make it because of that. Sometimes they didn't. But that's how I put everything together, and I feel like it went pretty well so far. Nothing too astronomically out of place. I am a little disappointed that Dalton is showing the same as Anderson, and I think when I enter him into the actual game, he's going to be a little bit higher. So I think Dalton's going to be the starter, which is depressing. A little bit depressing, can't lie. But that's how I did everything. If you guys got any questions, let me know in the chat. But yeah, I tried to use actual stats to come up with all the player ratings that'll go into ESPN NFL 2K5. And that is resurrected. So I'm using a utility to enter the stats, the attributes, and the player information, and then I'll go back into the actual game to do the equipment and make it look somewhat like the player, hopefully, in as many capacities as I can. I do have the 49ers and the Bears done. I've done a couple practice games, just testing stuff. I had the hold on the ball and the scramble a little too high on the quarterbacks, so I corrected that, and they've been updated. And then I implemented it on the Bengals as I've entered them. So I'm only 3 teams in as far as entering stuff into the utility to get it into the roster file. So it'll be a minute, but I wanted to give an update on that because I mentioned in the previous video that I was doing it with Madden ratings, and then anybody that I didn't have Madden ratings for, I was doing just random numbers for that range that I had players populated for, which is probably would suffice, but didn't seem that accurate. So I wanted to come up with a way to try to make it more accurate, and I feel like I did it. Everything looks pretty good. Again, everybody's compared to everyone else, and then there's a cap on what each attribute can have per position, and then it kind of uses their stats to come up with those ratings. I'm sure there's a couple that's not quite right on, but I think it's pretty good overall. Certainly livable. But that's pretty much all there is to it. I got all positions done. If it found them on the roster, it pulled them over. So you can see here I got 1 free agent. So if I search for free agent, and I go to the person who is a free agent, this would be somebody that I had to remove. You can see he's a 74. And the person above him had pretty good durability, so he was removed from the roster. And I believe I want to say he was with the Ravens. But he'll be fine. He'll go into the free agency pool, so if anybody wants to use him, he'll be there. We'll do the free agents last, because I do have a couple here and there. What I'll do is move him over to a free agents tab at some point. Sorry, my ear is killing me. It's itching, and I can't get it to stop. I'll move him over to a free agency tab and move everybody up. And I should have, I can't say I have one per position because some positions it was done on. See, I didn't have any quarterbacks that I had to get rid of. I do have a running back. Oh, minus the guy we just looked at. I'm stupid. I have 3 fullbacks that got let go. William Howard, Gene Foster, and Andre Franklin. So those guys will be in, like I say, they'll be in the free agency pool. So anybody who goes to this site once it's posted, well, what did I do with the site? Did I close it? I guess I closed it. Anybody who goes to the NFL2krosters.com site, once it's done, they'll have the ability to download it. That might be somebody else that he's concerned about. Okoye did not make it. He didn't play long enough to get enough AV. So if I go back to trying to remember how I did fullbacks. I can't remember, to be honest. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Well, I might have to look at that, because according to this, he should have made it. And I think, I know Haynes is in, and McGlinton's in. So how did... So going by AV, I'd say he didn't. That's why he didn't make it. So if I go to the Chiefs sheet, because I'm assuming he didn't play long enough to get enough AV. So if I clear this and I go to fullbacks, yeah, see, he's third, and I only took 2. Part of that's because he didn't play long enough to get enough AV. So that's pretty much how I did it for every position. Now, I know there's a lot more players in the rosters than the people I had to cut, so he might still be in the free agency pool once I get to that point. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet to determine who is in the free agency pool, but you can see every position's here. And then you just filter to whatever position you want to look at. And I did 2 centers, so these 2 made it. Wigman is out, which is a shame because he was pretty good as well. But that's how I did it. I just used that AV stuff to determine who made the team for each position. So you got 5, I think. So that'd be your 5, as long as they weren't on another team. And the way I did that was, hide that, is on here you can see Forrest is red. So it's because he's repeated. And the reason he's repeated is because he's a player as well. I could have left Ditka as the coach, but George Hallis was pretty good as well. So I went ahead and changed Ditka to Hallis. The only other thing I was considering was Andy Reid. I could move him to the Eagles if I wanted. And then that would make Hank Stram the Chiefs coach. But I have not done that yet. I've not decided whether I want to or not. If you guys have an opinion on that, please let me know in the chat. And or if you're watching this on YouTube later, throw a comment in there about what you think about it. But that's pretty much all there was to it. This was the tough one though, because there's not really any stats for offensive linemen on any sites that I could find. You could find some penalties here and there, but for older players, they didn't track that as close, I guess. So there's nothing listed. So I pretty much had to go by fumbles, sacks, well not sacks, fumbles and AV, and then their games to try to get stats for them. But I think it came out all right. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's serviceable. And then a lot of these, you can see a lot of the spots got cut from linemen. So I got 11 free agents and linemen. So a lot of those got cut. Again, we'll move those to the free agency tab once we get there. I've had hiccups all of a sudden. Seems to be a stream thing for me. I get them. So there's one that was cut. So he'll move. And then I'll just delete those rows and it'll move them up. So eventually those tabs will have no free agents on them. Ray Donaldson, that was a tough one. I did not want to let him go. But the Colts are stacked. I mean, it was just impossible to figure out who to get rid of for the Colts. It was unreal. But again, they'll be in the free agent pool. That Jim Longer, he is really good. I thought the Dawson and Weber were good at 78, and then Longer got 80. 107 in 12 years. That's decent. I think he might be the only 80. A couple 79s in there. Anyway, that's what I've been working on. It's kind of why I've been on hiatus from Willie Roaf 79. Almost 80. Oh, there's an 81. Munoz. Well, I mean, that makes sense. He was pretty damn good. Baselli's 80. He was good. So yeah, I think it's worked out. Even for the linemen, I think it's worked out pretty well. Again, these are relative ratings, not actual in-game ratings. They use body weight and all that stuff, which I can't find formulas for. So another 80. Now, an example of that is I believe even the 77s, I think, when I entered them. Because if I go to the Bears and I look at their offensive line, she got 77, 76. I'm pretty sure those are both 100. And I'm not so sure all these aren't 100 as well, even though they say 70 something. But again, I can't find formulas for the overall ratings, so this is just something to give me an idea of how they compared to everybody else at that position. So that's what I've been working on. That's why I haven't been streaming a whole lot. I do know I have playoffs to get to for the Dream season. I have some more playthroughs. Man, I haven't played the golf game other than the show on Wednesday night. The Diamond Cutters on Mayday 91283. If you're so inclined to tune in, we do it every Wednesday. But yeah, other than that, I haven't played the golf game, so the playthroughs have been slow to come through, and trying to get those updated. I also have 64 Super Mega Baseball teams that are supposed to be in a two league tiered system that I've yet to start. I need to get on those too. I revamped a lot of the uniforms and everything. Let's see what's on my desktop right now. It might be one of them. Yeah, there's one of them. The Biloxi Barracuda. I don't think I changed them too much, if at all. Of course, the one that I didn't change much would be the one that's on the desktop right now, right? So that's pretty much how I did everything. And then I didn't really need the college helmets, I guess, but it was kind of visually nice. So I went ahead and added those. And that's actually a Google Sheets info for anybody who doesn't know. You can actually do that with a formula. So it's just pulling based off the college name. And then if I go over to, it might be hidden right now. If I go over to teams and logos, I have all the college teams here with their helmets, and it would just look up the name and pull back the helmet. It's insane. Why does Excel not do that? You have to do an image box and then call the picture why can't I think of what it's called? I'm blanking on what it's called. Anyway, you pull the picture off of another image box and apply it to your image box in Excel. It's stupid. Why can't you do this? So you can see I got all the team helmets. I got the free agents picture. And then I had this saved in case I need it for anybody who doesn't have a helmet or I can't find the helmet for them. So as I scroll down through here, you see a couple of those. There's not a ton so far, but. And then I also have a nun picture, which is a graduation cap with the red circle. But I've only got like one or two players that have that didn't have college. One of them is U Premium, the kicker. There's one. So Fisk didn't. I can't find that college helmet. So, and then if I scroll down to none. I don't think I need that anymore. A group I found that I didn't bring in that I thought I did bring in, so if I get to the ends eventually, holy smokes, there it is, the little graduation cap with a circle through it. None. But again, like I said, I only have like two of those so far. Well, and I've done all the rosters, so yeah, it's pretty much taking up all my time right now. I can't say that there's really a rush for it, but I am fairly excited about it, so I'm hoping to get it done fairly quickly. I was going to add more helmets to this thing and then just randomly pick one of them because, you could do it for any of the teams really, but if I go into insert and then I got NFL and then I go into a certain team, what was I on? The Niners? See, I can pull in different helmets from different eras. And I could randomly pick one of those every time something changes, but I didn't really, it's not necessary, so I didn't do it. But I could do it. Not quite sure how I'd want to do it, because you have different numbers of helmets for each team, right, if you did that, so I don't know. That's why it says current helmet, not just helmet, because that's going to do different ones. And theoretically, I could do that for the helmets for the colleges as well, but I don't really want to get into that, because colleges, like we all know, say Oregon, they have like 30. So if I go to where I got the helmets from, and I go to what are they? So Big Ten. So we'll say. Does anybody here have a lot? Well, let's go Maryland. So if we scroll down to Maryland, so I could grab all of these, right? You can see how many there are. It's ridiculous. And then you could just have it randomly pick one whenever something changes in the sheet or the workbook. So, I mean, you could get quite involved with it, right? Actually, I don't. That one's not enough flag, I don't think. I like this one better. So then I go to M's. And I look for Maryland. Right here. Alright, so that's done. So then I can shrink that. And shrink that. Get my workbook back. Where is it? Alright, what is happening here? Okay, it's on the other tab. I'm stupid. Alright, so if I go, then I can go find Maryland. Alright, so that's the one we had. So we delete that. And then we bring in the new one. Go to M's. And pull that in. It's got a little bit bigger flag on it, so you can see it's there. So then if we go see if any Maryland players are on any of these teams. Yeah, there's one. You can see the new helmet's pulled over automatically. Why can't Excel do that? I don't understand. Does Bears have any Maryland? It doesn't look like it. No, they don't. How about the Bengals today? Yeah, they got Boomer. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Just wanted to give an update, because the last video I had, I was going to pull the Madden ratings over. But I decided to try to do it with formulas using their actual stats. Again, when I enter these, they'll not be what this rating says, but those ratings will... Ow. Sorry, I cut my finger the other day and I just tapped it. It hurt. The actual ratings in the game will determine what the depth chart is. So I'm pretty sure Dalton's going to end up being the starter, which is... I would be surprised if he wasn't. Only because he's higher on accuracy. He's tied with Boomer for strength, which I don't know about those. Dalton's had pretty strong arm. I don't know about Esiason. I guess it was okay. I also got to make sure he's left-handed. And then pass read. Well, he's a little lower on that, but still, his accuracy is a lot higher. So I think he's going to be the starter. There was something else I was looking at that I thought would help him be a starter as well. Ball security's higher. Composure's higher. Leadership is tied with Ken, so I think he's going to be... The only thing that Ken's better at is scrambling and speed. So I think he's going to end up being the starter, but I could be wrong. We'll see. And yes, if they are tied when I do enter them in the game like they show here, I will pick which one I want, which would be Probably Ken Anderson, because I'm not a big fan of Dalton, to be honest. But again, it's not about me being a fan. So yeah, just entering everything into the roster file right now. They do have, so if you look at fullback here, you got Booby Clark. And on the same team, if you look at tight ends, was it tight end? Or no, it was lineman. Booby Williams. What are the odds that the two people that have Booby would be... Oh no, that's Bobby. I'm stupid. That's Booby. That's Bobby. I just can't read. I was going to say, I didn't even realize there was one, let alone two of them. Alright, so I think we're going to end it there. I just wanted to let you guys have an update on what I was doing. And, the reason I haven't really been streaming much. I was on vacation this week, but I was pretty much working on this the whole time. I went through and got all the lineups set with the positions that they need so that I can get this entering stuff started and done. So again, if you have any questions or comments, please post it on the comments on YouTube. I'll have this moved over shortly. And I appreciate you guys checking it out. We'll talk at you later. Peace.